Trains, trucks, and good old country music with the Yankee and the Brit on RTM Radio.
Choir and a nice cold summer and a nice cold beer would be nice too. Yankee and the Brit, the RTM Radio Network on a Sunday. What the hell day is it? Saturday. Whoops, 7:08 Saturday country night with the Yankee and the Brit. Glad to see you guys hanging out here.
Yeah, and later we've got Brian Randle coming on. And we've been listening to his tunes.
Some awesome tunage too. You guys are going to love what this guy's got to play. Yes. And maybe what he's got to say. We'll have to wait and see. Our usual hello to everybody. Nice to see everybody here. Nice to see you guys in the chat. Hi, Rhonda G. Combs. How are you?
And John Chico, if I've said it right.
Nice to see you guys. And, of course, Cruisin' Dave and the beautiful, her governess herself, Mrs. Dave. And, of course, Ms. Salstad.
Yes, the beautiful lady with the hat. Have you seen her picture? She is having
we have a new picture?
Yes, she's having a smooch with her pooch.
Where is it? I'm looking. Oh, look at her.
Yeah, she's having a smooch with a pooch.
Oh, look at that. Which one had the wetter kiss?
I know.
That'd
be the question. I want to know now. Oh, look, there's Larry.
Hello, Uncle Larry. What's going on? Larry is the head of the RTM Radio Network chicken holder fleet.
He is.
So you want to keep an eye on that guy. You never know what he's up to. And anybody else that's hanging out there, nice to see you guys, man. Hello, John. How are you?
Hey,
going to have some good music tonight. Started off with some new stuff already, in case you hadn't noticed.
Yeah, why don't you load up a Brian Randle tune? Give these guys a bit of a taster of what's to come on at 8 o'clock.
Well, we could do that, I suppose.
Yeah.
What would you like to hear? Number 1, number 2, number 3? Let's just kick it off with the first one on the list.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
Now, you guys are going to love this guy.
Let's try this out. Brian Randle, When Lovin' Turns to Leavin'.
Right here on the Yankee and the Brit show.
That's it. You nailed it. You remember who you are, huh?
I'm a clever girl.
When loving turns to leaving.
Oh, yes, sir. When lovin' turns to leaving, Brian Randle. Oh, I'm liking that.
Yeah, it's awesome. I told you you'd like it.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. I didn't get a chance to listen to any of it.
Davey,
Donna did, though.
Yeah, and Davey, thank you so much for putting us in touch with him. So,
yeah, is Davey in the group by any? Oh, is Davey? Oh, excuse me. Is Davey here? I've been working like a white man over here. Come on.
Oh, we've been so busy, haven't we, the past
I know, and we still ain't done. I'm over here working between songs and stuff. Gotta get caught up, man. But that's the way it goes. Well, anyways, it's nice to see you guys, man. I'm glad you're here. I hope you enjoyed the music tonight. Got some new stuff mixed in with the usual stuff. Of course, if you got some requests, we'll be doing it. 8 o'clock, like we said, Brian Randle going to stop by and hanging out with us for a little bit, so you want to check that out. Dave got himself some new shoes, a couple of bar taps, and 3 dry tech shirts. I'll be sending for Randy to fix up for me. What?
Dry tech shirts.
You got bar taps. You mean we want to put, what are we going to put on there? Little tiny words with SS Cruises on it or something? I think he's talking these kind of taps, like you draw beer with, you know.
Oh, like the pump
a beer
things.
Tap. Yeah. They might have those round heads on them where you can put your little signs and stuff in them. I don't know.
Who knows with Dave? We never know what he's talking about.
I know. He just kind of rambles on over there, but that's all right.
Bar taps and the 3... he says no new shoes. No new shoes. And a couple of bar taps and 3 dry tech shirts I'll be sending for Randy to fix up for me.
I think I'm okay. Bring it on. How you doing, Joe? Nice to see you, man. Can't wait to hear your show Wednesday. That's going to be pretty cool. Got a lot of good stuff going on. In the meantime, though, I do have a song for Joe I'd like to play. Jolene, check this one out, man. You'll like this.
Oh, you played Jolene for him.
That's, I call it Radio Network for my old buddy Jolene. You're not going to believe this, but that's Miley Cyrus, actually. Not that I like to play her or with her or sniff her or anything else, but it sounds pretty good, actually, for Miley. I think that was before Stupid Days. I think that was before she turned stupid.
So let's just say hello to these guys in the chat room.
Hello, Chris. What's up, Mr. Make?
Chris is in the chat room.
He is here to make it or break it.
And Larry's in the chat room. Mrs. Celia.
Look at that.
I've said her name
Larry's
right.
got 12 clocks in his house now.
No, you just need another one, Larry. You need one that's got a particular annoying sound to it.
Any other railroad clocks he needs to send to me.
No, he does not. Larry, you can keep all railroad railroad clocks, as well as take this one back.
And Honorable Chris-san is looking for 1 ton of soup. Please send him 1 ton, please. It'd make very good. Yes, we have a request for Chris we're going to play, too. It's not country, but we're going to play it anyways because that's what we do. So we'll get to that here in just a second. Brian Randle coming up at 8 o'clock. So make sure you're here because you're going to enjoy every minute of that. Some good stuff, man, I'm telling you. That's pretty cool stuff. I like that song. And I'm glad I figured out how to play that off that 12 minutes worth. I'm learning the hard way, that's for sure. Anyways, let's let me see here. Let's just do this song for Chris because he requested it a little while ago, and we're going to get it done. A lot of you guys might like this, actually. Humble Pie.
We go home on Monday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bob Carroll, Ted and Alice, baby. That's it. I don't need no Dr. Humble Pie. By request, I know it's kind of out of context for a country Saturday night, but I wanted to get it in there for a friend of mine out there on the left coast. Chris, thanks for coming by, man. It's nice to have you hanging out here. Put it back. Stop letting it hang out.
Yeah, put it back in your trousers.
Put that wonton away, damn it, before you hurt somebody. Yanki and the Brit, 7:29 is the time. Brian Randle coming up at 8 o'clock, man.
Yeah,
so,
we can't wait.
Yeah, got some good music lined up. We got all his tunes here. We're going to see what kind of information we can fish out of him, find out what kind of guy he's like, where he's from, blah, 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 the whole thing. So it'd be nice to hear him. If any of his fans are out there and you guys want to call in and ask him some questions or something, we'll be glad to hook you up with him. If he's up for that, we'll check with him and see what he thinks. In the meantime, let's get back to that country music, shall we? I-35 with the Yankee and the Brit.
Freezing cold in Dallas when I made my getaway. I outran a cold front when I gave my truck the rent.
I ain't got no panties on.
Yankee and the Brit, the RTM Radio Network. Donna's over here having a friggin' riot with that.
We were just singing this song and
kind of a dedication from Mr. Make to Mrs. Stacy. Miss Stacy. To Stacy. You know what I'm saying. You guys figure it out.
So anyway,
What
this
do I
song
know?
kind of put us in an excitable mood now. We're all hyperactive and I was like tapping Randy's belly.
telling you.
You feel like a woman.
Hey, 102, yeah, we remember you. Don't you worry.
Yes, we do.
We don't
remember
forget
you.
anybody.
What was it? Dom? Is your name Dom? I think it's Dominic or. But yeah, we definitely remember you. And don't forget what?
Chris, he says Shania is a good choice, Staggy. Oh, not to be confused with Shaggy. Hey, Staggy. Okay, what the hell we doing over here? What time is it? We got to keep an eye on the clock. 7:43.
Yes.
Brian Randle coming in at 8 o'clock. So
Top of the hour.
hang around for that. Yeah, that's right.
You guys are going to love his tunes. We was recommended to play his tunes by Davey, and Davey was just one big bundle of energy when he come on the show, so we can't wait to meet his friend. I think he said the brothers or the close friends. I can't remember now, but yeah, we definitely can't wait to have him on the show.
And hello to, I'm guessing that's Mrs. Randle over there?
Oh, his name's Austin. Okay. Why did I think his name was Don?
Who?
102.
I don't know where you got that
102.7.
from.
He says his name's Austin.
I wonder about you sometimes.
Do you?
I think you just make things up as you go
I
along
know,
and
I'm
hope
just
you get them
pretending.
right.
Just go along with me.
Better to just do what you got to do and beg forgiveness later, however that goes.
Yes,
something
sir.
Like that. I don't know what the hell it's all about. I'm just over here. I'm white and I'm stupid. All right. So, anyways, you live in West Virginia. Another damn redneck over here. Uh-oh. Courting and sparking be next. Shit. Fixing to hit the fan command.
Do you now talking a lot? Is that
Oh,
West
Larry,
Virginia thing,
seriously?
or-
Damn.
I am talking every.
I know, and so am I. Larry said he ripped another piece of hide off his arm. You know how my skin tears so easy like that? Remember we were talking with Larry about that?
Oh my gosh, Randy's skin, it just it's like really, really thin. It just kind of like peels up, doesn't it, and rolls
Yeah,
over.
right. This area right
Yeah.
here. Nowhere else but right here. Like that little rip right there that's all scabbed over already. I know. I got to be careful, man. I reach down into the motor housing and check the oil and shit like that. All I can do is bump my arm, man, and I'm friggin' pasting skin back on my arm. I got to look that up to see what that's called. I forget. Dad's the same way, too. Mom, look at Mom. You've seen her arms. She bruises like crazy, man. It's insane. I know you bruise pretty good, too, but I can't get you to do anything to get hurt.
Do you remember the time when I kind of went flying across the room and I hit the door frame and I had this big, huge bruise right down my arm, right down to like past my elbow, and it was just deep purple for about 4 weeks.
No. Nobody here wants Trump.
102 is asking, are you all voting Trump?
All right, Chris wants Trump. I don't want any of them. I'm a Gary Johnson man. That's it, plain and simple. I have no use for the rest of them. They all whine and cry and carry on. They're just evil people.
It's like watching a load of preschool kids in the playground, just watching them. They're all just like kind of at each other, you know.
I mean, you guys want to vote for Trump? That's do it, man. Go for it. That's your gig, man. I would never tell anybody who to vote for or what to think. It's your own right, man. That's the way I see it. I wish more people think that way. Put some duct tape. Put some Gorilla Tape on it. I got some Gorilla Glue here, Larry. I fixed my glasses with it. That shit's awesome. You want to glue your arm back together with that stuff? Where is my Gorilla Glue? Right here. I got two kinds. I got Super Glue and Gorilla Glue Pen. And let me tell you, that shit works, man. It's a little slow, but boy, is it effective. Kind of like me. Slow but effective.
Yeah, but you're not really effective either.
Slow but effective. Yeah, I know. Oh, stick a Band-Aid on it. That's the easy way out. All right. So, anyways, let's Trump. Donna's been trumping half the afternoon over here.
I know. Brits call it a fart.
Oh, I want Trump. I just don't know it yet. All right, I'll keep that in mind. Not.
Oh, right. I've not heard much about what they want to do for this country. You know, all I've heard is them.
They don't talk about what they want to do for this country. They talk about what they're going to do to each other. I'm going to kick your ass. Okay, let's do a tune.
Yeah, I wish 8 o'clock would hurry up.
No politics. No more politics.
Yes, get rid of the politics.
I hate politics. We're here to jam. We're here to have fun. Let's do it. All right, where were we? Music, Maestro.
Let's get another tune on.
Oh, wait, I had one I was going to play. I got one for Stacy.
Oh, all right.
She had mentioned Rascal Flatts, so we better do this first. Then we'll do Solo Cup. Rascal Flatts, and I melt like cheese on a grilled sandwich, like ice on a summer day.
Right now,
Dave is dumb on a plane. Yankee and the Brittany, RTM
Radio Network.
That's right. Caroline says she likes your curlers.
Oh, it was such a fun day, Caroline, I tell you. Randy was getting all frustrated because these cans were rolling in and rolling out my hair just as
What do you mean I got frustrated? I got excited. You reminded me of an old girlfriend from back in West Virginia.
What, taping my hair up?
No, curlers in your hair.
Curlers. See, that's how you said it today in that song. Curlers.
Curlers.
I wish you'd take those curlers out of your hair.
Well, they're curlers. What the hell you call them then?
Curlers.
What did I say?
You
Curlers.
said curlers.
What about them Golden State Warriors? Hello. What about them? Just what about them? Tell me, what about them?
Well, we are going to get Brian on the phone.
Hey, must be Dan. What's going on? Yeah, go ahead. Listen. Well, yeah, I told him 5 minutes.
Did you? Oh, all right.
Yeah,
then.
it's about
Give him
4
a couple
minutes
of
to
minutes,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, it's only been a couple.
All right.
Let's, I was going to sneak in one more song, but we only got a couple minutes. I guess we can kill that much here with my mouth yakking. So how's everybody, man? Nice to see you guys here. Brian Randle coming in just a few more minutes here. Let's see. What are we doing here? Chris was talking about the Golden State Warriors. 73 wins. That's awesome. And stuff. Oh, okay. Good. Oh, you guys got a conversation going here. All right, let me get out of the way then, because I don't know shit about it. I don't do sports, man. I'm a piss poor excuse for a white boy. What was that?
No, I thought it was somebody at the door then. But anyway, welcome in Caroline Self.
I expect Mom to come bounding through the door any second. Hi, I'm here. Rah, 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 rah. You know, they don't knock. They don't just walk in and make themselves at home.
Say hello to Caroline.
I said hello to her already.
Yeah, we had a nice time in Florida. It was great to meet you guys, all you listeners out there.
Mrs. Jeep, your English accent sounds so real.
I know, I almost sound like a Brit, don't I? Almost.
Funny, yeah.
And I say almost because I'm being converted over here to one of these Americans.
Redneck.
Yeah.
A redneck, let's see, what do we call you? A Texas Yankee or something like that. I don't know what the hell I am now.
I've been called all sorts.
I'm so friggin' mixed up. Yankee accent, Texas accent, sometimes a little Kentucky, sometimes a wee bit of hillbilly.
It's when I sing a song that I really sound American. It's crazy.
That's your opinion. Yeah, I'm glad you come by, Chris. Always nice to have you stop by. We play your tunes whenever, man. He's a good guy right there. We had some pretty good laughs on some stuff. And he's on a lot of train pages I'm on, too. So we're always doing train things.
Awesome.
Yeah, when I need information, that's the go-to guy. Because Just because I worked on a railroad doesn't mean I know everything.
Now then, Caroline's in the chat, and she says she's been converted too. Now,
converted to what?
She's been converted to an American accent, and when I...
Where's she from?
Well, I can't remember now. She put it in a Facebook message, but when I first spoke to her, you know, her accent was just a right jumbled up. You know, she really sounded really, really jumbled up because of being over here so long, you know.
Okay. Oh, now I know who you're talking about.
Do you remember?
Yeah,
she was in Florida.
Yeah, right. Okay. Now I got it. I recognized her face finally.
Yeah, but she was with Melinda.
Oh, you better call Brian now.
Yes, we're going to get him on the phone. So you guys that have tuned in to listen to Brian Randle, we are getting him on the phone right now.
This should be exciting because I know absolutely nothing about the guy, but we are going to find out.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he's got a sense of humor.
We'll soon find out, won't we? I think he's just going to be great.
Okay. We'll take it from there. All right. Hello?
Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
Brian. How are you?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
Doing all right.
Awesome. You just keep talking that accent.
She's going to hound you about that accent the rest of the night.
Oh, yes, I will.
That'll be good. That's just fine with me.
So we have Robin. She's been in the chat room already, and she says there's going to be loads of people tuning in tonight, so we can't wait. And we've also sneaked in one of your tunes tonight. We've been listening. Absolutely brilliant. We just love you already.
Yeah, great stuff on the jukebox, man. The music's awesome.
I appreciate it so much.
I do have my first question. I have one question for you that's been bugging me. I have to know, do you still have that broomstick?
The broomstick. Did you say broomstick?
I did.
That's my stick horse.
It says you were your little blurb says you were strumming a broomstick at age 4.
I was. So I used it as a guitar and a stick horse at the same time.
All right.
Don't worry, I was flying a broomstick at age 4 as well.
I did. I used to sit around strumming a broomstick. It was actually to the Beatles and to Elvis Presley and stuff like that. So, yeah, that did happen.
So what was your earliest musical memory?
You know, my first musical memory, actually, to be honest with you, this actually happened. I won't never forget this. I don't want to tell my age, but at the same time, I was watching Gilligan's Island
Skipper!
when I was a kid. I mean, I was a child. Very young, but I do remember this. It happened August 16th of 1977. And if you remember, Walter Cronkite, which was a huge news anchor, came across and said Elvis is dead. That is my first musical memory that I actually remember ever happening to me, was that day.
Are you kidding me? To me, Walter Cronkite is the master of news, and I really wish some of these news channels would bring back somebody like that. I like a grandfatherly type guy to give me my news, you know, to tell it to me straight, be honest with me, and you know, sound serious like he did. I mean, even as a kid, I was always glued to the TV when he was on. The guy was just amazing.
Yeah, I would have been 4 years old. I would have been 4 years old, 4 years and 3 days old, to be honest with you. That's what I'd have been. So, my birthday is August the 13th, and he died on August 16th. So, that is my first musical memory that I ever actually remember having, period, because I grew up listening to people like that. Elvis, Waylon, you know, all those, that's what it was. And so, but that was it. That was probably the first memory that I have, period, of music. And we just sat and watched today there's a channel on DirecTV called Reels, and we just sat and watched some stuff on Elvis again today. Just today we were sitting watching it. So, yeah, that's the first memory that I have.
That's brilliant.
So how did you get, I mean, is it because of hanging out with your grandpa that you just, I know I read the part about you being in prison and that, but you, basically as far as the music goes, you just kept going from after you started just jamming with your grandpa?
Yeah, I didn't even know, I did not even know that my granddaddy played a guitar until I was 13 years old. I had no idea. And so I was with him all the time. I came from a broken home. Great mother, great daddy, but it was a broken home. So anyway, I stayed a lot of times when I was with my dad. Me and my sister stayed with my grandmother. What we call Papa Randle and Mama Randle, because that's what they were. And I did not even know. He took me everywhere. Everywhere he went, I went with him. And one day he said, "You can't go with me." And I was really heartbroken over the whole situation. So he comes back and he calls me outside, and we lived on a gravel road. And the whole Randall Hill is on a gravel road. It was. It's now paved, but it was on a gravel road. And so you could sit and see somebody coming down the road by the cloud of dust that was coming above the trees. And so Papa came back, and he comes into the door, and he said, "Come on here, I got something for you." And so I end up going outside, and he pops the trunk of that. It was an old Mercury Marquis car.
Great car.
Ford Mercury Marquis. And he pops the trunk open, and there's a guitar inside of it. And he said, "I don't know much, but I'll teach you what I know." Well, he pulls his guitar out of the attic, and he brings that guitar out of the trunk, and I go home that weekend back to my mom's. I go home that weekend playing my first song. So that's where the music all started.
So how'd the first song turn out?
And what was that song?
The song was Down in the Valley. Down in the valley, valley so low, late in the evening, hear the train blow. It was an old Jimmy Rogers song.
That's right.
Oh, brilliant.
That was actually the first song that I ever learned to play.
Wow.
Did you learn to play it by yourself, or did he show you those notes?
No, he taught me. He taught me that song. So he taught me that song that weekend. So, and this started on Saturday. And I've just been blessed with the gifts of music. So, but at the same time, I did not know that he knew anything about music until then. And then all of it started coming out. So it was all the Johnny Cash stuff. It was all the Merle Haggard stuff. And so because you have to understand in that time and day, he was born in 27. All of his brothers played music. His cousins. Everybody played music, but it was taboo to go to these barn dances and, you know what I'm saying, the barn dances and such things. It was taboo for you to do that because we grew up in the Bible Belt.
Right.
So it was taboo for them to go and play anywhere. So they would basically have to sneak out and play it. And so it was kind of a hidden thing with them. And I had no idea until I was 13 years old that he even knew that. And then and so he instilled all this stuff into me. All the music that I know basically came from my papa. So that's where it all started at.
And I bet
I appreciate that, and I'm proud of it. So
I bet you still have that guitar too.
I do.
I would think so. That would just be something I could never let go.
No, I have my granddaddy's guitar too as well. It's okay. It's a 1935 model. It's an okay guitar. It's a K-A-Y. It's just an old guitar. It's got the old fiddle. They call it fiddle holes in it. Looks like a violin, and so I still have that as well.
Now you're from Blue Springs, Mississippi. That's where you was born and raised?
Yeah, right outside of Tupelo. It's right outside of Tupelo. It's maybe 10 minutes outside of Tupelo, where Elvis was born.
And I was just going to ask you now, as a youngin', were you surprised that Elvis was from that close to you?
Well, Elvis, and still to this day, because if you just look back at the legacy of him, and knowing and being able to see where he was born at, and knowing I know a lot of people that are still alive that knew him when he was a kid. They're older now, but I know a lot of people that knew him when he was a child. Some of them that even went to school with him. And so the place he bought his first guitar at, Tupelo Hardware. I know that place very well. It's right down the street from one of the places that I used to love to play at. It's not open anymore, but there's a place called Atlanta Bar and Grill, and it's right there. It's less than a block from where Elvis bought his first guitar at. So it's really cool to me.
Is that hardware got the old wood creaky floors in it?
Oh, yeah, it's an old two-story. It was the only hardware store in town, but, back in the day, the hardware stores carried everything. They were kind of like your general store.
Right.
So that's where he bought his first guitar at. And so, yeah, it's really cool. So I've always I actually have a tattoo. I have a PCB tattoo on my arm because Elvis is one of the reasons that I do what I do. Because anybody that can come from where he came from and done what he done, then you respect that.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Do you do any Elvis music? Do you play any of his songs at all?
Yeah, I do. Suspicious Minds, we do that a lot. I do a whole lot of Merle Haggard stuff. I do a whole lot of Waylon Jennings stuff, a whole lot of Hank stuff, Hank Jr. I've always tried, Vern Gosling is another one, George Jones is another one. I've always tried to stick to, what I try to do is incorporate my original music into my set list. So I basically, what I do is I will take my influences and what basically made me who I am musically. I will use that in my set list. And so I'll throw in one of my originals. So we do like a 1 and 4 thing. So I may do, and sometimes a 1 and 3. I'll do one of mine. I'll do a couple of originals. Of cover tunes and stuff. So that's what we've always done. And it works well because once you do that, people start getting it. They incorporate and they know what you said to them. They start understanding what you're doing. They start getting where the music actually came from.
Right.
So it's important to me to do that.
Jason Parker says you write your own songs from your heart, and your voice is truly a gift from the Lord above. Heaven and Hank's one of his favorite songs. Glad to call this good old boy a friend.
Where do you get your inspiration for your music?
Yeah, Jason Parker is he's a really good friend of mine. Jason Parker is one of those sincere people in what he does. He's believed in me for a long time. And everybody knows who, I know down in Louisiana, people know who Frank Foster is. And so Jason is a big part of Frank Foster as well. So Jason has always believed in me, and I love that dude to death, man. I love him to death. He's a great person. He's one of the most genuine people that I've ever been around, and he believes in what I do. And that's very, very important to me because in the time and day that we are right now with music, as far as mainstream media, it's very important to have somebody in behind you that believes in what you do. Because sometimes in the radio market that's going on right now, it's almost like a run-of-the-mill thing. So it's very important for people like Frank Foster, who is doing very, very well, myself. When you're doing original music, it's actually original, and it's not a run-of-the-mill thing. It's very important to have people like Jason Parker, and I've just got so many, I've got so many people behind me that believe in what I do. It's very, very important to me.
Donna's got a question for you.
Where'd you get your inspiration for your music?
Oh, where do I get my inspiration? It just comes from everyday life. Everything that I do, if you, and I take pride in this. I really do take pride in it. If you listen to a song that I do, it's something that is a part of me. It's who I am. It's something that I've either been through it or I've experienced it. So it's very important to me to incorporate who I am, who Brian Randle is, into every song that I do.
Yes.
So the inspirations come from all the way back, just like we talked about a minute ago. It comes all the way back to my granddad, but it comes also from life experiences. I believe that true music that really means something, has to come from the heart. It has to come from what you're feeling. It has to come from what you've been through. So that's where it comes from.
Did you ever write a song about your granddad?
Oh, yes, I have.
What's that one called?
I have a song called, it's called Granddaddy.
Well, there you go.
Yay.
And then I have another one that's called The Greatest Man to Me. And he was the greatest man to me. So he's been dead since 1991, but there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about him. So, every time I pick a guitar up, he comes to my mind. Every single time. And he's been dead since 1991.
Well, you wouldn't be who you are without him.
Absolutely not. No way.
I think that's great. I forgot my question. It was right there on the top of my head, and I forgot.
Where are y'all exactly?
We're in North Texas, north of Dallas, about probably 50, 60 miles.
I have a dear friend of mine that lives in Tyler, Texas.
That's probably an hour and a half or so from here, 2 hours.
Yeah, not far at all. And actually, since we talked about the prison thing, I'd like to back up and talk about that a minute.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I met this guy. What happened? I always like to. Some people dodge things like that. I don't dodge it at all, because it helped incorporate who I am. It's helped me to be a better person, so I don't dodge it at all. I ended up, through the music scene and through Nashville, I got involved with some people who were, really high up in the industry. But long story short, I got wound up in a bad addiction. Okay, so I ended up going to prison. Well, in that time when I went to prison, I had a couple people that I met when I was in there. I completely laid the guitar down. I didn't want to hear music. I didn't want to see anything about music. See nothing. I didn't even see anything about it. And I had a guy that had the opportunity of playing with Waylon back in the early 70s that ended up being my cellmate. And I thought he was full of crap, to be honest with you, when I first met him. Then I go to researching and had some people research, and it was true. And he ended up being my cellmate. And so I got to a point to where I would just lay up in the bed. I didn't even want to get out of the rack, I just wanted to lay. I was just in bad funk, so to speak. And he came and he woke me up one day and he said, "You're fixing to go with me." We had a little music room. It wasn't fancy, but had a few guitars and stuff in there. He said, "You're going with me to the music room today, and you're going to go from now till the day I leave here." And I've got 18 months. And so he drove me into that music room literally every single day. And he said, "What you have to do is you have to take these bad experiences that you've experienced and put them on paper, and you put them to music. And I'm going to let you do that." And he did that. And his name was Rocky. That was his nickname. I'll just leave it at that. So about 3 weeks before he got ready to leave, he said, "What's your favorite guitar in the world?" I said, "I've always wanted a Fender Sunburst Telecaster with a B-bender in it." Forgot about it. I never thought of anything else about that. So I had gotten out. I got signed to a independent record label in Nashville when I got out in 2009. Rocky comes. He lived in Missouri. He comes from Missouri, comes to see me, and we were having a thing at BMI, actually, for the record label. So he comes to that. Before he gets ready to leave, he does the exact same thing that my granddad done to me. He says, "I'm leaving. I've got to go back to Missouri." Him and his son brought him down. He said, "But I got something for you in this car." And he had that Fender Telecaster with a B-bender in the car.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. So I've been blessed with music. I've been blessed to be around people that believe in my music, that care about me a lot. I've been. Are you familiar with the show? I know y'all probably are. The show Moonshiners. It's on TV.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff is Jeff Walter, great dear friend of mine. I played a Popcorn Sutton Festival. If you're familiar with him, he's one of the legendary Moonshiners. Anyway, I played the deal with up there. It would have been in 2011. 2012, I came back and played. 2013, excuse me. I came back again, and I met Jeff. So Jeff, since then, has got his liquor going on the market, and it's the only true rye whiskey moonshine that you can get. It's like the real deal. It's not. There's nothing fake about it. It's just like you make it in the woods. We have become great friends. I've written a song for him, and we've just got a lot of stuff going on. I took some time off this past August, just step back and write because we wanted to get another album started. And in order to do that, you have to take time to do that. You have to take time to step back and write. You have to take time from doing shows and stuff. You have to really focus on it to do it. So we've just got a lot of stuff going on. I'm really excited about it. I mean, really, really excited about it.
So Dave Summers in the chat room is asking, are you a trucker?
Am I what?
A trucker.
A truck driver.
Lorry driver.
A
18
truck?
wheels.
Yes, I am.
Ah.
You said trucker, but are you from Mississippi? You're not from Mississippi, are you?
No, she's not from Mississippi.
Quite a few miles away.
I love the accent. I love it. It's kind of a little bit hard for me to understand, but I do love it.
She's about 5,000 and some miles away from Mississippi is where she comes from.
I do love it, man. I do love it. Yeah, I am actually a trucker. Yeah.
I'll make it easy. I'll make it easy for you, Brian. She's from Britain.
Britain, that's on the other side of Alabama, isn't it?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, a little ways away from there.
No, I do love it.
If you turn left at the traffic lights, you'll be there.
What did you say, baby?
I said, if you turn left at the traffic lights, you'll be there.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to drive it across through there, but I could probably get there.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of things that are going on as far as talking about that. Since you said that, we've had a lot of stations that are trying to pick us up that are overseas, and that's a huge, huge thing, especially for people that are doing true music and not absolutely dedicated to the major markets, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying when I say that. So some of the overseas radio stations and stuff is a huge thing to us. That's a big deal. Because people over there are so dedicated to true music. They want the real deal, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, you're definitely the real deal. And talking about your music, you have a new album coming out here pretty soon? 200 Proof?
Yeah, well, we've got the 200 Proof that's out now.
Oh,
it's available on that.
Okay, I was reading the blurb that you sent, and it says, let's see, you're 3 songs away from completing it. So, but you're done with it now, then?
Yeah, we're done with that, and we're starting on another one.
Okay.
So, yeah, so we've been writing, and we've got we're about to go into the studio and start another album.
So what I was going to say is the 200 Proof album, is that going over to England to be played over there?
Yes, we have stuff going. It's already available on. We have it available on iTunes. It's also available on TouchTunes, which is TouchTunes is a digital jukebox that you see in a lot of places. They're all over the world, and they took us on. So anywhere that you go into a place and there's a digital jukebox that's up on the side of the wall, wherever you're at, you can pull up Brian Randle and it'll pull the whole album up. So we've got Spotify, TouchTunes. There's so many different places that you can get that album at. iTunes is absolutely the easiest way to do it. And then we're going in the studio to cut some more stuff.
Well, while we're talking about it, you have a Facebook page too?
Yes, I actually have. It's Brian. When you go in, it's Brian Michael Randle, which is my middle name. I had to change the Facebook page up a little bit, so it's Brian Michael Randle. That is my middle name, but that's the way that you find it. And then you can also go on, like I said, you can go on to iTunes and all that, and it'll link you back to that.
Now, you also have your webpage, brianrandle.com. Is all of that linked up to that page too?
Everything's linked up together, yes.
Very good.
So, who is Davey? Is he actually your brother, or are you just good friends?
Who's that now?
Davey. Do you know who I mean? Davey. Unless it's just the way you guys call each other brothers over here, I don't know. But he sent us a link a couple of weeks ago, and we listened to your music and we was like, oh God, we really like this guy. And then Davey was sharing your post.
Davey?
Yeah, you know, the one that plays the draining board on his belly.
Yeah, Davey is a great friend of mine. He's real big into he does a lot of Zydeco stuff down in Louisiana and Texas and all across. He's a great friend of mine. Yes, absolutely.
Do you like his music with his, does he play with spoons on his belly, on his chest?
Yes, he does.
It's a rub board.
I was about to ask him last time he come on. I was going to ask him, is there any part of the kitchen utensils that you don't use?
No, and he does, and he's got movements to go with his
Yeah.
He does. He's a character. I got to give you that.
To death. I do. I love him to death. He's great.
There's one thing you have to do for one of our listeners. You have to say, hi, Michelle, and she wants you to say the word garage.
She's not right.
Hi, Michelle. Garage.
Michelle is from England. She's across the pond. She's over there where Donna came from.
Is she really?
Yes, she is.
That explains a lot.
Also, must be Dan. He's from across the pond. He's from the same place that Donna's from. He's in the chat room. And he wants you to say, Peter Piper picked the pepper.
Peter Piper picked the pepper.
You have to say it faster than that.
That's crazy because my ancestry actually links. We're actually from, of course, none of us actually are from here. We came from somewhere else. So my ancestry actually links me back to England, and then the other side links me back to Scotland. So it's pretty cool. But my as far as my my voice, it does not sound like it comes from England or Scotland.
No, we don't know where you come from, but you sound pretty cool. Most of us Brits will just give you the big telephone directory and just tell you to read it, and we'll just sit and listen.
That's awesome. I love you guys, man. I'm so excited that y'all asked me to come on the radio show, man. I really am.
Well, we can't thank you enough for coming on. It's great listening to your stories. What is it? What do you do for fun? I mean, do you do four-wheeling? Do you garden? Do you do anything exciting besides music?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I love, I'm a big hunter. I'm an avid hunter. I love hunting. Love it.
You love what? Plumbing?
Yeah. I love hunting. I love deer hunting. I love fishing.
Oh,
I love going out on the lake. It's that same thing that most country boys like. That's me. You know, I like grilling. Actually, we're about to fire the grill up now. But I like grilling. Just hanging out with family and friends and stuff. If I'm not playing music, I'm not really I don't really go out to the bars and stuff, because if we're not playing in one, I don't really go out into one, if that makes sense. I a lot more enjoy sitting out on the back deck, grilling out, and hanging out with friends and family. So that's basically the way it is.
So do you have a daytime job as well as your music?
Yes, I drive a truck.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I'm sorry. I can't believe I forgot that.
Can you say who you drive for?
I drive a truck. So that's my secondary job. It's not my favorite, but my secondary.
Can you say who you drive for?
Not really.
Okay, that's fine. We have a lot of truckers come in here a lot of times, in and out, and so we basically I don't know. We're not a trucking show per se, but we have the Hillbilly Express that we carry on Wednesday. He does a lot of trucking information. You know, so you fit right in with the crowd here is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, no, that's great. I'll just throw it out here that there's a little trucking company right north of Atlanta, which is where I'm sitting at now. I'll just go on and tell you, hell, it don't make no difference. So anyway, Kennesaw Transportation, that's who I drive for. So
who is it?
They're right north. Kennesaw Transportation. It's about 25 miles north of Atlanta, 30 miles maybe.
Kennesaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of them, sure. I drove for 20 years myself.
Well, what I was driving was all the West Coast stuff. So the solo drivers there, they drive up in Chicago and Detroit and places like that. And the team drivers drive out west, Washington State, Oregon. You know how that deal goes.
Oh, yes, so, sure do. I got out of driving because I don't do Big Brother. You know, I don't like anybody telling me when, where, what, how, why. And, you know, and I'm glad I did, because I see it just getting worse by the day. And I don't know how you guys do it. I couldn't put up with it.
Well, it's the rich get richer and the poor get poor. So
well, you pretty much nailed it with that one.
Well, guys and girls, I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a couple of minutes break. We're going to get a tune on by Brian Randle so you guys can hear him. You guys are going to love his tunes, by the way. We absolutely love him.
And
so,
speaking of tunes, before we play one, let's ask you about a couple of these songs, like Heaven and Hank. What's the meaning behind that? Where does that come from?
It basically comes from that is a song about how we were raised. Basically, I mean, I don't know anywhere other than to put it, and it's just a song about how we were all raised. Being from the Bible Belt, being from the South, we were all drugged to church on Sunday, and most of us got out of church on Sunday. It is what it is, and we were ready to go ride four-wheelers and drink beer and everything on Sunday afternoon. So it's basically that thing, but at the same time, we never forget our roots. We don't forget our roots. We all have a very heavy believing in God. And so especially with this one of those things to where even though we know our roots, we still kind of sometimes stray away from them somewhat.
Yeah, isn't that true? That's very true. We do.
That's basically where the song came from.
I want to go back to Rocky for just a second before I forget. You said that Rocky showed up and he was ready to leave and he got that guitar out of his car. Do you think Grandpa was sending a signal, sending some kind of message to you?
Absolutely. I honestly believe that, if you read my bio, I honestly believe that my granddad was not kind of reincarnated. Not reincarnated, I don't want to say it that way, but I believe that he sent a message to me through Rocky, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. That's exactly what I was getting at, because when you said that, that's the first thing that went through my head. It's like, I can't believe that that's not Grandpa trying to say, look, son, you did the right thing. Everything's going to be fine.
Oh, yeah, because I had completely given up. Because when you go to prison, when you get there, it is a dark, dark place. And so when you get there, I had given up. I thought, well, nobody's ever going to touch me with music. Nobody's ever going to want to hear me again, because in some people's mind, and even in my mind, I was like, well, I'm stamped. You're a convict. You're stamped. You're done.
Right.
And that's not so. It's not so. And this coming up, let's see, November the 6th. Yeah, November 6th of this year will be 10 years to the day that I went in. So, it's been 10 years. I've been clean this past January 26th. I've been clean for 10 years. So, I'm good.
Well, if you want to look at it in a brighter light, I would say, if you can look at it in a brighter light, you rate right up there with Merle and Johnny Cash and a few other ones that have done their time. When you say that, the truth is, a lot of people talk about things in music, and this is one thing that I don't take pride in, the fact that I went down that road, so don't take it the wrong way. But at the same time, I can write about stuff that really happened. This happened to me. I had to watch my children come and see me in prison. It's a big deal. It was, when you sit back and look at this whole thing, it makes a huge difference. People can write about stuff. The music that people really love is the music that people can write the truth about. And when you write that truth, the same as Merle has it. God rest his soul. I can't even believe he's gone. But when people can write music that really means something, and a lot of people think that Johnny Cash went to prison. He didn't. He went and played in prison. It makes no difference. He's still a great entertainer. And he done exactly what he should have done. And then you had Merle that did go to prison, and he comes out, and Ronald Reagan, watched everything away for him, and he goes to playing music and became a icon. And he will always be an icon. Absolutely.
So it's just real music to me. You've got people that, look, Chris Stapleton, for example. He's written a lot of songs for a lot of artists, but he's out now, and his music is absolutely freaking phenomenal to me. Everything that he does, when you listen to a Chris Stapleton song, it means something. It's almost like a Christopherson song. As long as I've always tried to write songs, write music, to where when I get through with that song, I can put the pen down, and I sit and I ask myself this question. I've done this for a long time. Would Christopherson be proud of you? Would Waylon be proud of you? Those type things. If they would approve of it, then I'm good. So that's what I always try to do, and I feel comfortable in everything that I like. So when I get done with it, if I don't feel comfortable with it, I go back and I revisit. Sometimes it may be 2 or 3 months before I do it, because a lot of times you get hung up on your songs and stuff. You get hung up. You write a verse and a chorus, and you get hung up on the rest of it, and you just don't really know where the hell to go, basically. And so sometimes it's best just to leave it alone and rethink it, live life a little bit more, and then rewrite it. So that's the way we do it.
Oh, that kind of music comes from the soul. It's for real.
And that's what makes the difference.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more.
If it comes from the heart, everybody can feel it. So that's what matters.
Well, let's get your Heaven and Hank song on here. You can go fetch yourself a drink. I'm going to have a little glass of water here, and we'll be right back in just a few minutes. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me. To compete with that.
Well, it's just we get a lot of new singers. We've had quite a number here. Brad James, Howard Salmon, Bill Weaver, Tony Justice, of course, has been here.
Lance Stinson.
Lance Stinson's been here. And those guys have said the same thing. And when they get in the studio, man, I cannot believe the difference. You guys just are awesome. It's beautiful to hear the real music coming out. And I'm telling you, the guitars in there, they just scream. And there's nothing better to me than a good lead guitar. And you guys are rocking the place. Do you still get a chill when you get in the studio and get to sing like that with a bunch of great musicians?
Oh, man, it's amazing, because what happens is you go into the studio and everybody's got their number chart down. So the bass player, the steel guitar player, the drummer, everybody's got. So you basically walk into the session blind, so to speak. So when you walk into the session, you're kind of blind as to what's going to go on, and then the click track comes on, and then the drummer comes in and they say 1, 2, 3, and then when everything starts gelling together, when it gels and you start singing, it's like what happens is everybody feeds off each other. So when you get great musicians together, you get an artist in there and they believe in your song, everything starts gelling, and it's absolutely amazing. I mean, there's time. I had a couple of songs that I was doing when I was a Kurd that I actually lost my place because I was so lost in the music, if that makes sense.
Oh, I understand completely. I can't even imagine sometimes.
Yes. I had to go back and they just kept going, and we'd go back and redo the vocals on it, but no big deal. But when you get great musicians together inside of a studio and they're really gelling together, there's nothing better than that. It's a feeling that I can't even explain, because they're feeling exactly what you felt when you wrote it, and it's absolutely amazing.
When you go in the studio, do you get to kind of brief them on what you're looking for and what kind of feel you're looking for in the song?
Well, what we done on this last, we do get to do that. Yeah, absolutely, I get to do that. But a lot of times, and there's been several different songs to where they come at you with something that is totally different, and then at first it's like, well, that don't sound right. And then you listen to it and you're like, that's absolutely perfect. So sometimes, you want to add a little bit of something into there, and then sometimes you just sit back and say, you know what? You got the feel, let's just go with what you got. And that's the way it goes. No. So it's basically just feeling. You got to feel what's going on, and if it feels right, you just go with it.
Let's touch on this just a bit. I don't want to stretch it out too long, but now when you write a song, when you write your songs, do you hear any music in your head as you're writing the words, or do you just write it like
every single
time? Well, do you write it like a poem, and then you find the music to fit, or do you have something in your head, just a little something to move you through the verses, to kind of fit it together?
Well, sometimes I'll start off like, all right, for instance, sometimes I might say, I want to write a song, and I'll sit down on the sofa or whatever, and I'll just have a melody in my head. I have no idea where it's going. I have no idea. And I may start out with words and lyrics and have no idea what the hook is, and that hook will fall into place. Sometimes I have the hook and I have to write around it. Now, what I like doing is just having that melody and having a few words, and I find the hook as I go along. But that's not the same case with everybody, and it's not the same case with some of my co-writers. A lot of times, I've got a lot of co-writers that have, like, this a whole page of hooks and song titles, just page after page of song titles, but no lyrics to them. So we write that way sometimes. And you basically just go through the song titles and say, well, that sounds good, like, Heaven Hank, Love You Like You Living, Cowboy. You just find those hooks that just sound really good, and you try to write around it. When I'm writing by myself, a lot of times I'll just start with a melody. I have no lyrics whatsoever. I have no hook whatsoever, and I find what feels good, and I write off of that.
Does anybody send you music? And
oh yeah, I get a lot of stuff sent to me. A lot of it. There's some good stuff and some not so much, but I do. I get a lot of stuff sent to me, and some of the stuff we picked up on, and we either co-wrote on it or passed on it, I guess what I'm saying.
So do you have any other musical talents? Can you play any other instruments?
I can play. I play bass, lead guitar, drums, mandolin, and basically that's it. So.
What was that last one?
Yeah. Do what now?
What was that last instrument?
Mandolin.
A mandolin.
What's a mandolin?
How do you even explain it? I mean,
it's a baby.
I'll show her a picture.
It's a baby guitar. It's a really little guitar.
I'm going to look at some pictures. I understand pictures.
Like that.
Oh, cool.
Okay, see how it's shaped?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a gourd turned into a guitar.
Yeah, it is. It is a gourd. It is a gourd. Yeah, it is a gourd.
They were originally.
Wow.
That's what. But it's all backwards. So when I tried to start learning that thing, and I actually started learning to play mandolin when I was in prison. Rocky was the one that taught me how to play it. Everything on that thing is backwards, man. It was so frustrating and aggravating to me to try to learn it, but I wanted to do it. It was just, because it's a little bitty neck on it, little bitty strings, and everything's backwards. So the notes are all backwards on it. So when you go up, mandolin, you go backwards on the mandolin. So when you go upward on the guitar, you go backwards on the mandolin. So yeah, it was a challenge.
So can you play that kind of like fluently, or do you really have to stop and think what you're doing?
Oh, you got to really think what you're doing.
Ah, wow, what a talent!
I'd love to be in a studio and watch you guys play. That just tickles me to death to watch, to see how a song comes together. It's just amazing. Still, to this day, it's amazing.
It's a magical experience. Everything about a studio is magical. It is because you're able, and if you think back to the old times, when I say old times, I'm talking back to the 60s and 70s. Everybody back then had to play it everything was done in one take. So if you didn't get it right, then you had to go back and do it again. And so sometimes it would take you 50, 100 takes to make that song right. I mean, all the way back to Elvis Presley. And there was a lot of songs that he done that took them 100 takes to get right. But the beauty with the way everything is working now is when you go in and you lay everything down on the first take, if the bass is right, then you keep it. If the guitar is right, you keep it. And then you can start building from that. And so what used to take days to do, you can go in and cut 3 or 4 songs and really have a really good, solid basis as far as your instruments. You can have that done in a day. And then you go back the next day and you do your vocals. And, and so in a week's time, you can complete an album. And that's what's happened with a lot of the industry nowadays is they go in and some of the mainstream media stuff, I guess is what I'm trying to say, some of the stuff that you hear on Top 40 radio, that stuff, that whole album's done in a week. It's not like it used to be. So there's a beauty to the whole creation part of the music. If it's done right, then you take your time to do it. And so there's a way to do that, and it's a beautiful thing to sit and watch it happen. And then you hear everything building up from the bottom floor, from the ground floor up, and it's absolutely beautiful.
I'm still an old schooler when it comes to that, though. There's nothing better than watching the whole band get it down.
Well, that's the way we do it, man. I mean, I like to do it that way. I mean, I like it to be old school. I like everything to be solid. And anybody that I work with, as far as hiring in the studio or even hiring on the road, they're old school. Even though they may be young, I've got a guitar player that plays with me that's 22 years old, but he's just as old school as anybody in the world could ever possibly be. I mean, he believes in what he does, and he studies music, and you have to study your craft and really dig back in order to be great, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. Just like a bunch of old rednecks getting together on the front porch and having a good jam session.
There you go.
That's the way it should be done.
So do you go on stage in front of a crowd?
Do what, though?
So do you go on stage and sing in front of a crowd?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Ah, where do you go?
We have got, we took it off, and we started writing, and then we have, hold on just a minute, I'm getting my notes right here of some of the things we got coming up, so hang on just a second. We have, Loretta Lynn. Loretta Lynn has a ranch in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. We played that this past October, and we're doing that again this year. We have a lot of other deals that we're doing that's just smaller venues, but Loretta Lynn's is a huge, huge thing to us because of who she is. I mean, it's just a huge thing to us. And so they have duck wagon races. And so it started in Oklahoma, and they brought it into Mississippi, and then we took it into Tennessee. And when we played there in October, there was like 4,500 people there.
Wow.
And it was absolutely huge. I mean, it was amazing. And then we're doing some stuff in Louisiana. Jason Parker also has some stuff going on that I can't disclose right now, but he's got some stuff that's going on that we'll be playing at. And I really hope that you guys can come down and see that. It's going to be close to you, I can tell you that much. It will be within traveling distance from you.
Wow. Wow, keep us posted and we'll see what we can do.
Absolutely, it'd be great. If we could figure out a way to do like a live remote from that, and I will let you know, I'll have to tell you secretly, but I will let you know. I'll let you know what it's going to be at. If we can do like a live remote, figure out how to make that happen, that would be great.
Are you kidding me? That'd be awesome, man. I'd be more than glad to sit through that.
We went all the way to Florida to do a 3-hour live show. It took us 19 hours driving there and 19 hours back. We're bloody bonkers.
It would be awesome. We got to do that.
Dave Summers, I think Dave Summers in the chat room says we owe him an extra hour of music tonight. Little bugger.
Well, speaking of music, I want to get another one of your tunes on here. You want to tell us what Cowboy's Dream is all about? Cowboy's Dream is just it's another one, man. It's sometimes it's hard for me to explain music because it's just basically who I am. I co-wrote this song with another guy, and it's just basically it's just the things that we love to do in life. You know, I mean, it's about having someone in your life that you love, hunting, fishing, the things that make life complete. It's basically what it is. And so it's a great song. I love Cowboy's Dream. Love it. And always, I mean, when you listen to the lyrics, you'll hear exactly who Brian Randle is. So.
Well, that's what we want to know, and that's what we want to hear. Let's get it on here. Cowboy's Dream with Brian Randle. We'll be back with Brian here in just about 3 minutes or so. Larry, be quiet over there.
The Larry clock is going off. Everything has to stop for the Larry clock.
He likes the music. He won't hear
it. Well, Lee Godfrey in the chat room has said, quit talking and play another badass jam of yours.
Well, we're going to play it right now. Cowboy's Dream with the Yanki and the Brit and Brian Randle right here on the RTM Radio Network.
Let's do it.
The Yankee and the Brit, we are live with Brian Randle. We are having an awesome night here, and his tunes are just fantastic. So
yeah, this is great music, man. I can't get enough of this. We're going to make that Heaven and Hank a regular song if you're all right with that.
Absolutely.
It's going to be
Play
regular.
The hell out of it.
Sorry.
Play the hell out of Heaven and Hank. Is that okay to say? Play the hell out of Heaven and Hank if you can.
You have to remember, this is internet radio. You can say and do whatever you want on my show. It makes no difference to me. Believe me, I'm being calm just so I don't say anything I shouldn't.
There you go.
So where do you go from here now? What's the next step? Working on that next album, right?
Absolutely, yeah. we've been doing a lot of writing. My wife Robin has stepped in and she's doing some writing with me. And it's a really cool thing because you start getting into, when you have a person in your life, a woman in your life, man in your life, whatever, that digs your music and loves what you're doing, and you can sit down together and start writing together. It's a beautiful thing. So we're coming up with some really good stuff. So there's some good stuff that's coming up.
Okay, before we go on here, somebody wants to, Lee Godfrey, who's in the chat, wants to know, he wanted to know the name of that last song, The Cowboy's Dream. You also want to know, do you have a CD out?
Absolutely. I do have a CD out. You can go to iTunes, and the entire CD, 200 Proof, is available on iTunes. So you can get it on iTunes at any time you want.
Okay, and
we have it at a good price. So all you got to do is jump on iTunes and get it.
And you said your latest one is out now. That's the 200 Proof?
Yes, 200 Proof, yes.
All right. And while we're touching on it, you want to tell the people again one more time where they can find you? I know one address is BrianRandle.com. What was the Facebook page?
Brian Michael Randle. That's my middle name, so it's Brian Michael Randle. If you need to get in touch with us, you go to BrianRandleMusic.com. BrianRandleMusic at Gmail, I'm sorry. BrianRandleMusic at Gmail.com. And if you need to email us, feel free to do that at any time.
Well, one of our bestest listeners, Larry, he's the head of the RTM Radio Network chicken hauler fleet over here. He's from McAllen, Texas, and he says you remind him of another great singer, Kevin Fowler. Do you know who Kevin Fowler is?
I do know who Kevin Fowler is, yes.
Oh, there you go, Larry.
Absolutely do.
These guys are in love with your tunes, man. There's just all kinds of rave reviews going on over here.
That's a good. That's a great thing, and I appreciate it so much. And if you can let all the listeners know how much I really truly appreciate them listening to the music and actually enjoying the music and getting it. It's getting it. If you get it, you got it. Good.
Well, when we played Heaven and Hank, Must Be Dan over there in England was dancing on the ceiling. So you're really turning the Brits upside down. That's a pretty good thing.
That's a good thing. That's a real good thing.
Well, I don't know. I guess if you don't have anything else to add, we'll let you go get some sleep or jam some more music, whatever you do on your spare time.
Or you can just keep talking to us all night.
Yeah, if you got more to add, go right ahead.
I'm sure all our British listeners will not disagree there.
Well, I appreciate you guys so much, man. I really do. And I want to get back on the radio with you guys again soon. And then we'll keep everybody informed on what's going on.
Well, you get up here in North Texas, you be sure to let us know you're around this neck of the woods.
I'll make sure I do that because one of my best friends in the world is right there in Tyler. So, yeah, Longview. Actually, he lives in Longview. I said Tyler, but it's Longview, which is close. So.
Right, that's all in the same neck of the woods over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to deliver flower pots to Tyler and Longview. That was an interesting job, let me tell you.
Well, we will absolutely get up with you guys soon. I want to let you know as soon as I can. I will let you know what's going on this other stuff to where we're around close down that way. So I can't tell you exactly right now, but I will very soon.
Well, we work and live out of the same little box, but you're more than welcome to come by and hang out and do a little live show with us, and maybe we can even get you hooked up with the right equipment here. If you bring something with you to play that we can plug in the board, we could have you jam a tune live even. We're up to that kind of thing.
No, that sounds good. I love doing that. I absolutely love doing it.
Yeah, you'll have to bring the goodies, but until we... my plan is to build us a little studio where people can come and jam, so probably over the next couple of years I'd like to have that done, so that should be interesting, too. Then I'm going to beg people like you to come and play.
I love doing that.
Well, that's great. Well, I don't have anything else. I'm more interested, when we talk to people, I'm more interested in finding out who you really are more than anything. Do you like to play in the mud? Things like that. I mean, I find that more interesting about a person. There's so many shows and TV shows and things you can go to, and you can find out who's divorced and who married who and who's doing what, and that's not me, boy. I'm just an old down-to-earth...
I don't care who married who.
I'm just an old down-to-redneck boy, and Donna's the same way. We just like to hang out with people and just have a laugh and have a good time, and that's what we've done, man. I'm so tickled to death you took a little time to spend with us.
Well, Randy's not asked you what car you drive yet.
Why is that important?
Because you normally... he normally interrogates everybody on what car they drive.
Well, we have a vehicle that we use for everyday use, and we also use it for traveling. It's an Escalade because it totes the notes. So we have a Cadillac Escalade that we drive around in and pull trailers and go from here to there and play music in.
I know what she's getting at. I didn't ask you if you have a four-wheel drive truck.
I do not.
Oh, man.
Now you're getting it. Now you're getting it.
I nailed Lance Stinson on that one, and he bought himself a brand new four-wheel drive truck, and his wife was chewing him up and down. If he got a scratch on that truck, she was fixing to whoop his hiney.
That's true.
So if you don't have a four-wheel drive truck, I don't know what we're going to do with you. You ain't as red as you say you are.
Well, hell, I'll have to get enough.
A Cadillac Escalade. What is going on with that?
Well, you got to ride comfortably because sometimes you go a long way.
I suppose I still rather bounce around an old four-wheel drive. You got mudders on that Cadillac?
Yes.
Mud flaps? You got bull balls hanging off the back?
Has he got what, balls?
We got bull horns on the front.
All right, that's close enough. You can come to Texas like that then. All right, man, we're going to cut you out of here, but
Yes,
everybody's just tickled to death with your music. We love it, and as soon as we get off the phone here, we're going to jam a few more tunes.
Yes, and thank you so much for spending the time with us.
Thank you, Stu. I appreciate y'all so much. I really do.
Been great, man. Appreciate it, and we hope we get to talk to you real soon, man. Good luck with that new album, too.
Thank you, brother. Y'all have a good evening.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.
Good night, love.
Brian Randle, the RTM Radio Network. That dude is great, man. I
What
love
a
it.
guy.
Let's check out a couple of his tunes over here. Let's kick it off here with 200 Proof. Sounds like a pretty hot song. Woo! I'm liking the sound of this already, baby.
Jam it!
Might have another regular tune to play here. Check it out.
Bad dancers, few 8 years old, will pack your bags. It's not so unfamiliar anymore.
Wow, just wow. Tell me what it takes, Brian Randle. Is this dude not awesome, right? God, I love it. And thanks, Deborah. Thanks, Larry. Thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in and checking him out. He's awesome. And don't forget, when the show's over here at 10, you guys can, anybody that's listening, you can tune into the Yanki and the Brit show. It'll be up for replay just probably 3 or 4 or 5 minutes max after the show's over. So you can listen to the whole thing again if you missed it. So the guy's awesome, man. I haven't heard a song yet. You know, usually you get an album or a list of songs and you'll find a couple you don't like, but I haven't heard one yet that isn't badass. Really, they're really great. And thanks, Brian, again for coming and hanging out with us, man. You're a great guy, funny as hell.
Yes.
Love it.
And it's nice, you know, as well, because pretty much every time we're going to have someone on the show, you know, Randy's like, and he did it tonight as well. He was like, oh, you know, so tired. I'd rather much go for a sleep. And I said, you said that last time when Davey came on, and Davey was just a big bundle of fun.
I know, right?
And you
I
had a
loved
really
every
good
minute of
night. Yeah, same with Lance. He was like, do we really have to do this? And I was like, you're going to love it.
I'm tired, you know. We've had a long week, and it's still
we
not
have
over with yet. We got to go out tomorrow again and work, and Monday, and we got to get caught up. We're behind on things.
But husband over here had a really nice...
But yeah, this was great talking with him. And I love to hear the stories about going in the studio and stuff. That's the kind of thing I like to hear, and I just hope someday I can get in a studio somewhere and just watch somebody just jam their hearts out, because I just think that is the friggin' coolest thing in the world. You know, I guess maybe because I wish I could do that kind of thing, but I know, you know, I can't sing, of course, but that doesn't mean I can't enjoy it.
Yes, you can.
Lick me. Anyways, we got one more from Brian here. Let's throw this in here and we'll get to some requests. Mississippi Delta Queen, Brian Randle. Man, this dude can just kill him, right? I gotta love it.
Way more music starts now. Yeah, that sounds like America's Country.
You're a wishy-washy woman. You best clean up your act. If you don't change your ways, I ain't never coming back.
Broadcasting in HD digital sound.
The Queen Drive.
You know what we're gonna play right after this country hit?
Do I look like an idiot?
That's right. Another country hit. Hit Kickin' Country.
On the RTM Radio Network.
I won't, but not really. I might play that again before the show's over. That was kick-ass right there, Brian. God damn, buddy, that some bitch was badass. Did you hear that keyboard and shit in there?
I did. I was just watching you jamming your ass off over here. Wow.
I'm speechless. That's the baddest one right there, man. That's the coolest one. That's just, I don't even know what to say. I think that
is what you call music.
That's just too fucking cool right there. I can't even say anything but just too cool. Well, let's move on to request over here. Got one for her governess, Mrs. Dave, over here.
Governess?
No.
You know that's what
I don't go there. That's a married woman. Austin from Blake Shelton. By request right here.
Blake Shelton.
Right here.
On the Yankee and the Brit show.
Jesus criminy. Yankee and the Brit, the RTM radio network.
And we have a... Is my mic on or something?
Yes,
no, there it is. We have a tune coming up.
How can you hear if you're talking when you're talking so damn much?
Well, it kind of sounded like it was muffled.
Here, let me muffle that friggin' noisy box over there.
Anyway, we have a tune coming up for Deborah. And she was asking for the for you to play the Oh, Donna.
No, and never again. I burned it.
I told you.
I burned the whole computer.
That's exactly what I said to her. I said he's ready to burn that thing.
I burned it. It was on a different computer. I took it outside and burned it.
No, it was not. Stop lying.
It was. It's destroyed. It's gone forever.
He hasn't burned it, but he refuses to play it for you. So we're going to play this tune. It's a Yankee and the Brit special duet. We sung this when I was back in England. And
hi, Shannon.
And then we decided to sing it again when we're over here. So you might enjoy it.
She has to get drunk in order to come over here and say hello. What is up with that?
Shannon. Yeah, Shannon's in here. She's turned up late. She's like John Rooney kind of late.
That's okay. She's allowed. Yeah, Larry, I agree with you, man. Brian Randle, man, that last tune was the killer. I think I'm going to play that one more time before we close out of here tonight, because that's just unfriggin' believable. It was badass. I love it. I got to hear it again. I got to hear it again.
You have.
In the meantime, here's one for Deborah. By request, Donna and I, In Spite of Ourselves. She don't like her eggs all runny. She thinks crossing her legs is funny. She looks down her nose at money. She gets it on like the Easter bunny. She's my baby, I'm her honey. Never gonna let her go.
He ain't got laid in the month of Sundays. I caught him once and he was sniffing my undies. He ain't too sharp, but he gets things done. He drinks his beer like it's oxygen. He's my baby and I'm his honey. I'm never gonna let him go.
In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spite our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. She thinks all my jokes are corny. Convict movies make her horny. She likes ketchup on scrambled eggs. She swears like a sailor when she shaves her legs. She takes a licking, keeps on ticking. Never gonna let her go.
He's got more balls than a big brass monkey. He's a whacked-out widow and a love-bug junkie. Sly as a fox, crazy as a loon. Payday comes and he's howling at the moon. He's my baby, I don't mean maybe. Never gonna let him go.
spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spike our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spike our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes.
In spite of ourselves.
You're listening to Randy and Donna on the Yanki and the Brit Show.
Lance Stinson, turn off and turn up. By request from the wife. Yes, sir. Shaking that tailgate, baby. Move that moneymaker. That's what it's all about. Well, thank y'all very much for coming by. I'm going to jam that last tune again by Brian Randle because I want to listen to it really close this time.
Deborah says, Randy and Donna, it was amazing tonight. I had so much fun. I enjoyed it so much. He did a fantastic job on the interview with Mr. Brian.
It says Mr. Brain. I got news for you. Read it right.
Mr. I always write Brain instead of Brian. Anyway, she said, so before I say good night, yes, Randy, you can burn the Oh Donna song, but keep the one that you all did tonight.
Oh, we're not getting rid of that one.
In spite of ourselves. It's just a special little song to me, so we'll never get rid of that one.
Larry knows. Merle rocks it.
And the Oh Donna one, that will always be in the Brits archives on my YouTube account.
That's
you
as
can
far
always
as it goes,
find
right
the
there.
Oh Donna song.
Yeah, and if I ever figure out your password, it's toast. Trust
not.
me. I will find a way.
We will be off to the divorce courts if you ever get rid of that song.
I will find a way. I will rule.
Come on, you need to put your echo on when you say stuff like that.
There's new rules in the house. Mine. Because I'm not going to have that shit over here. I'm going to nuke that
I'll
bastard.
get the link over to you, Deborah.
Silence!
I'll send you the MP3 as well.
All right. Let's do this tune. I want to get done here so I can say goodbye. But one more time, Mississippi Delta Queen, Brian Randle on the RTM
Thank you so
Radio
much,
Network.
Brian.
Yeah, I got to hear this again.
Mississippi Delta Queen.
Oh, yes! That's a killer tune. That breakdown just, oh, man. That's cool as hell, man. I love that. I just told
Feeling
them
all right
too.
over there?
Yeah, that's wicked, man. Feet are tapping over here. I'm all excited.
are.
That's badass. We got to get out of here, man. We got about 30 seconds to go. Love you guys. Thanks a lot. See you tomorrow, maybe. We're not quite sure yet. We might work late tomorrow and have to miss the show, but we'll decide that tomorrow. Otherwise, we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks a gazillion, Brian Randle, for coming by and bringing by some kick-ass music. Best stuff I've heard in quite a while, man. You really rock. Donna, say goodnight, baby.
Night, baby.
Gee, Rand, what are we going to do today?
Same thing we always do, Brit. Try and take over radio.
The Yankee and the Brit.
Yes, Yankee and the Brit.
One is a genius, the other's a twit. On the radio,
the genes have been spliced.
the Yankee and the Brit. Brit, 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 Brit. Before the show is done,
the killing will have begun. By the end of the show,
the heads will explode. The Yankee and the Brit.
Yes, Yankee and the Brit.
The ranting campaign can never be explained.
To prove their radio worth, they'll take over the earth.
The Yankee and the Brit. Brit, 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 Brit.
Oh!
Hit it. Playing more of your favorite country songs every hour.
Yes!
Great country music whenever you want it.
What could be more American than that?
RTM Radio.